Hello and welcome to SquidgyfacePlays, and this is another command block tutorial, and in this video we're going to learn how to do a command to make us a little bit of a Lumberjack mod. Now it's basically tree capitator, and now I've done two commands of this already, two command videos of this already. One where it just showed you how to add tree capitator, another one to show you a way where you can activate it like on the fly. Now this one is even more different. This one is basically the way to activate it, but just for one player. Now this will work in any realm, any world, and it is reliant on the player who activates it. So I can activate it over here and use it over here, whilst a friend somewhere the other side of the world won't even have it turned on until they do it themselves. So let me get in and show you what I'm talking about. So we have trees, and obviously if we go to knock one down, nothing's going to happen. Now we need to activate it, which I've done simply by renaming an axe to Lumber Axe. Now what that does is it gives it a special name, so the game and the commands know that this is the axe that we need to use to activate it. And if we throw this on the floor, it will say right there on the screen, SquidgyFace1478 has activated their Lumber Axe, and it always says to the player who's got it active at the bottom of the screen, Lumber Axe is active, and it will always stay there so that player knows that they've got it active. Now what you can do is you can then knock out the tree, and it will take all of the tree in one go, and it works for any tree in the game. Now you can set this to whatever trees you want and whatever specs you want. Now again, this works only for the player who has activated it, so if another player wants to use this, they need to activate it themselves. Now so let's go on to the bigger trees like the Acacia, which is slightly bigger. Now I don't usually have any issues with Acacia. Usually it takes it out in mostly one go. There is obviously the few stragglers here because Acacia grows a bit weirdly. It goes like diagonally, and the command doesn't always pick that up. Now I've tried my best to adjust for that, and it's mostly there, and it's fine. But yeah, it's not the worst. Like usually it takes you a lot longer than that to get chopped down in an Acacia tree anyway. So let's move on to the two bigger trees, I guess. We'll do the jungle one first. Now, again, it does work. However, it will not get these side bits. Now, that's not too much of a problem in my opinion. It doesn't take too long to get the side bits. But look how fast I've just chopped down an entire jungle tree. And just for demonstration purposes, I will show you the dark oak, which didn't work. Blooper. And take two. Just for demonstration purposes, here we go. There is the dark oak. So that was a bit of an issue on my side. I just forgot to add the dark oak to the command. That would have been really bad if I was to show you guys without dark oak, I guess. So yeah, that's it in working order, and you can see that it actually works. And to turn it off, we just throw it on the floor. It'll let everyone know on the server that you've stopped using the Lumber Axe, so it's you're not going to go around chopping all their stuff down. And that is basically it. Now I'm going to quickly zoom into the lab and basically show you the commands and try and explain it to you as best as I can. Okay, so we're over in the command room now, and as you can see, these are all the commands you're going to need for this to work. Now, you can, in theory, make this like a little bit smaller if you really want to. This is just basically as long as it is, because I've got extra little bits here and there with like the little dialogue pop-ups and stuff. So we're going to start off this with the activation. Now the activation starts here, and you'll see why I've not put it behind in just a second. So to activate the Lumber Axe, it is simple as execute at E, type equals item, name equals, and then the name of the axe that you want to use as the activation. Now I've used just Lumber Axe because, well, it seemed just appropriate and fitting. And then we do 3 tildes, test for at P, R equals 3, and what that is doing is testing for the Lumber Axe, and if there's a player within 3 blocks of the Lumber Axe, and if there is, it will then activate and start this circuit. So now this is the circuit that basically tests which players can use the Lumber mod and which ones can't. If Lumber command, sorry, not mod. So this basically shows which players can and can't use it. So the way it starts, it again detects for a player basically. So it's executing at the Lumber Axe, but this time it's testing for a player with the tag not wood. So the exclamation mark means not. So if a player hasn't got the tag wood, what that will then do is go into this next one, which will set the block stone, and that coordinate is just here, right behind it. So it'll set this block stone. Then what it's doing, it's basically executing another command, which is saying that if the player hasn't got a not wood tag, it adds the wood tag. Now, then that basically goes into just a simple say command. It basically then says at P, which is the player. It says that the player has activated their Lumberjack, which then tells the server that whoever has just used it has then used it. Now, this command will always be the first one that tries to activate. If this can't activate, so what basically happens, if this can't activate and the player already has the wood tag, already has used the Lumberjacks, it will then cut into this, which then tests for a block to see if this block over here is air. Now, if this block is air, then it will go to this one, and it will set block air, and then this one. This is basically a placeholder to kind of skip over, so you don't need this at all. This doesn't need to be a command, it just needs to be a placeholder. So you just need some text in there. As long as it isn't an actual command, it'll be fine. You can literally type in gobbledygook in there and it will still work. I've just got it as 2 slashes just for this tutorial, just because it looks neater. So then, once you've gone into that one and you've done like a little spiral here, if that makes sense, we go into the second set of commands. So basically, what this is doing is it's going to try and run this command. And then what it's saying is if this command can't run, it will use this little mini 3-block circuit here to skip the original command and then start a second command. It's basically an if statement. So if this is false, or if this is true, basically. So if this works, then this doesn't run. If this is false and doesn't run, this will run, if that makes any kind of sense. So the second part of this command is executing at P, name equals obviously Lumberjacks, and this time it's basically checking for the tag wood. If the player has got the tag wood, it will remove that tag, and then it will basically go into another command that says that the player has stopped using their Lumberjacks. Now I will demonstrate this for you just really quickly. Let me grab another axe. So if I throw it on the ground, you should see this little bit activate, and it will basically pop up like you saw before, that I have started using the Lumberjacks. This shuts off because I've used a comparator, which basically makes it as like just a one-tick signal, because I don't want it to always run, because if it did, it would say the words over and over and over again, and you don't really want that. And again, throw it on the ground, activates one more time, and it turns it off. Now, all of these commands, so this is obviously your impulse, unconditional, needs redstone. Now, all of these are basically conditional chain always active, except for these 3. So this one, and this one, these 3 are unconditional. Make sure that's unconditional, and your coordinates for these 3, so this one, and this one. Oh wait, you don't need that one, ignore that one. So these 2 coordinates and then this coordinate need to be the same. So I've just placed this coordinate here, right at the back of the main command. And now, as for the rest of it, it's really, really simple. So we've basically got the command here that tells people that their Lumberjacks is on. So it's executing at A. So any player that has the tag wood, it will basically put this title into the action bar. Then kind of the same goes for these. So this is your wood command. So this is execute at any player with the tag wood. If they have got that tag, then execute at E, R equals 10. So that's a radius of 10. Type equals item, name equals, and then the log that you're wanting to use with it. So spruce log in this instance. Detect, and then we do a few tildes, one above it. So that's detecting if there is a log above it. Now here I've got log -1 fill. So the reason why it's -1 is just to make the command that extra bit better, that it kind of works no matter what logs are above it. So you can have like 3 spruce logs and 3 birch logs and knock it all down in one go and it'll still work. And then we just do fill, and then the little tildes again, and then 1, and then 9 here, air, and then 0, destroy. And that is the same command for all of these. All I'm changing is the log type. Like, so here, as you can see, it says Acacia log. If I go over here, it will say oak log over there. So all these are the same command, just different names of the logs. Now, this is where it gets slightly confusing. If you're in a different country and the name of that is an oak log, do not name it oak log. Name that whatever it is named in your country. Like, I don't know what they are changed to in certain countries. So if you're like, I don't know, in France and it's not actually oak log, it's some French word for oak log, which I'm really bad with languages, then name it that. So it has to be the name of that block in your specific language that you're going for. But other than that, that is basically all the command is, and it works extremely well. And obviously you can play with this, you can make this much smaller. I've just got it in a bigger format right now just so it's better for demonstration purposes. But as of that, guys, that is it for this episode. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I have got a Discord now. The link for Discord will be in the description below. So if you've got any more comments or any suggestions for videos, or if you think that you want me to do a specific command video, let me know, and I will obviously try my best to get all that out. But that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again in the next video. Bye!